How we doing, everyone? Welcome to another Wednesday Lunch Live sketch. My name is Frank Summers, and today we are going to be sketching a mermaid in celebration of the month of Mermay. So if you're new to the Wednesday Lunch Live sketch, we pick a topic, and as we've already discussed, it's a mermaid, and we do it for the next 25 minutes. We try to go as far as we can with it. Sometimes I get to color, sometimes I don't. Why don't we hop on into the old Photoshop? I already did a few sketches. This thumbnails really of things that I thought had the right track. If you didn't already read the description, I kind of wanted to do a little more of a ghostly or ghastly version of a mermaid. I figured the beautiful, seductive mermaid is already kind of done to death. Not that the beautiful, or not that the ghastly one hasn't either, but I don't know. It just seemed like more fun to me. So I'm going to start my timer. And there it goes. So the next 25 minutes, let's see what we can do here. So, beep-a-deep-a-dee. Let me actually turn up my volume. Let me check my audio really quickly. Sounds good. Let me grab my animator pencil. Oh, actually, I have a new color wheel. I just bought a new color wheel. It's just that I like it. It's a little big. So I like the swirling nature of it. I like the gesture is something like this. Let's get these out of the way a little more. I like this type of thing going on. And I like that we're kind of looking down on her somewhat. So if this is her trunk or her torso, we're looking down, like this would be her neck cavity. And so let's already refine our erasers for nothing. Let's refine our gesture a little better. Okay, so this is our torso. Her head would be around here someplace. Her skull. I want her to have a big long mouth. And here's her body. The tilt of her shoulders around here someplace. I kind of like how one arm was in front of the fish tail, kind of reaching up, maybe grabbing at us. The other arm could be receding. Yeah, so something like this, kind of over. Yeah, something like this. And the tail, something like this in this area. The hair, again, following our gestural line, something along this, moving in this particular direction. Okay, so let's hide the thumbs for now. And that's the rough basic idea of where I think I'd like to take this. So why don't we dive into it a little bit more? Let's try to define our torso a little better. And again, we're kind of looking down on it, on her. And so we have a pelvis somewhere around here. Here's the block of it. Right, it's got some depth to it. Center line going down into the invisible vagina. And our tail coming off. And we have some overlapping folds here. And then now I need to think about how this will transition into, so maybe something like this. Our transition will be around here someplace. And again, one of the things I'm thinking about is that we're looking down on her, like if I was to draw an arrow. We're looking down, right? And she's kind of looking up at us. And so here's her skull. Let's mask that in a bit better. And I wanted her mouth to be kind of wide, kind of Where's our eye line? Eye line's around here someplace. Weird scream mask type mouth with a skeletal type, like a nose cavity. Let's adjust her eye line a bit more. Oh, it looks like my stream is kind of, my internet's going really weird today. I hope my stream isn't totally, like Netflix wasn't working amazing this morning for the kids, and I was trying to access Dropbox earlier on, and it was giving me issues. So I hopefully the stream is looking okay for you. I wanted her eyes to be kind of below, to dip below the eye line slightly. And these are almost like cavities. I don't even want to put pupils in them. So there might be some depth to these. And let's kind of carve out some of her head, some cheeks. Let's zoom in a little more. This is the front plane of her head. Here's some cheekbones. Let's work a little darker maybe, so you guys can see what I'm up to. Here's a cheekbone, another cheekbone. Maybe these are not symmetrical. So let's make that symmetrical. And again, if this is our eye line right around here, our center line of the head, skeletal nose cavity. And I mean, these eyes are definitely kind of cartoony. So let's give them a little bit of shape. And I want them to kind of fall well below the eye line. The eye typically would sit around here someplace. But I want them to have a bit of a drag to them. And our brows around here. Okay. Now let's get back into the mouth and find that fit a bit better. Maybe this chin is a little rounded here. We have a tongue. And I definitely want to give her some fangs, or some pointier teeth. There we go. So maybe this eye is a little too close. And as usual, this stage of the game, nothing is in stone. I'm not falling in love with anything because I'm still pushing and pulling my shapes around, you know? This is still a very flexible and fluid. Yeah, my stream is getting really weird, man. I hope you guys are seeing it okay. I can see my playback. I keep seeing dipped in and out a few times. So I hope playing okay with you guys. So I'm thinking right now about her brow and how lumpy I want it to possibly be. You know? And I do some lids here, the idea of lids. And again, I want them to have some sort of thickness to it. These are almost like sockets. I'm not even going to give her pupils. And now an ear. Keep it sharp. Let's give it a little bit of a shape. And the other side of her head. So our hairline. What's going on with her hairline? Thin. Let's just find a shape for the hair. Let's kind of carve this a bit more. And get these cheekbones a little more symmetrical. pull out some. Let's save. Saving is always a good idea. Check our time. So we're 15 minutes in. We're doing okay. So let's start building up her shoulders. Here's one of her little nubby boobs. So now I'm thinking about her boobs and her chin and how they're kind of creating a strange, like 3 lumps, you know? And the thing is, I don't want them to be the same. I don't want them, from a design standpoint, to be the same. So, I mean, I may even just give her like the old classic shells and make them in like just you know, not draw so much attention to them, only because I'm more concerned about her mouth and her jaw. I would like that to read as a more important shape. So there's our torso coming together nicely. And maybe we can make these hips a little bonier. That could be kind of fun. And there we are. Let's give that a little more shape. A little bit more of a belly going on in there. And here's the bottom of her rib cage. Now her arm. Let's get back into the arm. So our hand is going to be here, and here's like the palm of it. So let's build a finger. Here's another 2 groupings of fingers. We have the middle and the ring and our pinky. And then our thumb pad. And where's the thumb? How's the thumb going to work? This finger is like this. Our thumb. I'm thinking if I want it to be more out, or if I'm thinking I want it to be a little more something like this. It needs to be more like that. I can build this knuckle up. And we can give her the idea of fingernails right now. And trying to keep these a little more bony. Yeah, going down to the forearm. Bonier elbow. And thinner arms. Thinner wrists. Zoom out a little bit. Okay, because this arm is coming at us in space. I'm not a huge fan of this hand yet. I'm gonna have to revisit it, but I want to move back. I want to move forward a little bit here. So this shoulder is a little higher than the other one. And again, this shoulder is, or this arm is receding. Elbow, moving down. Thinner wrists. Keep these elbows a little more lumpier, just to make her a little more grotesque. Save. Check my time here. Yeah, we got 10 minutes. We're at the 11-minute mark. So what I'm going to do is start moving a little quicker, I think. Because what I want to do, I would like to splash some color in here. I thought about doing like the Little Mermaid, but you know, I don't know. I wanted to do something a little more fun. Not that the Little Mermaid is not fun. And again, these are holes, and I want them to be kind of droopy. And let's get her fin. It's a little thinner. Maybe this one's kind of coming at us a little bit, and then we can get the back side of this one. All right. So the next thing I think I'd like to do is move on to just kind of pushing. Let's push our design a bit more. Yeah, I don't want to get too caught up with the hair. So let's go into the hands again. The hand and the face. This hand and the face, I would like to see what I can come up with a bit better. Fingertip. Let's pull it back some. So again, if this is our hand, okay, I'm not happy with this at all. So what I'm going to do is make a new layer, and we're going to call it corrections. Take our thumbnail layer, pull it down. Let's pull some red, and let's just work over top of this hand and really kind of spend some time here blocking this hand in. And let's try and, so this is a knuckle, 1, 2, 3. So maybe this needs to be a little more foreshortened, kind of coming at us. 2, 3. So we're rolling off 1, 2, and 3. One, 2, 3. And the pinky would probably be more up here someplace. 1, 2, 3. That works a bit better. I think the pinky was kind of broken, and I think the foreshortening of the index finger helped. Better. We can go back to our. So what I think I'd like to do now at this point is just move on to some cleanup. Take our corrections and pull that down just a little bit, and or not even cleanup. I would call this a tie down. I don't think I ever really get to a cleanup phase in these. I think there's just no time to do it. So I usually do what I consider a tie down. Pretty dark. And so what we'll do is just start working what we have and see what we can really do to push and define this a bit better. And again, let's really kind of concentrate on these eyes a little bit. And again, these have like a little bit of thickness to them, almost as if it's a mask. And like here's like a idea of a lid. Here's her nose. And again, I kind of want it to be something of a cavity. And then the other eye. And let's try and get the shape of her skull. And then some thickness to it. And the brow can come down here. They can kind of knot in the middle. There, this is kind of bony. Her brow has become more bony as I've worked on this. So now let's look at her temple. I can move into her cheekbone, which again, bony. Kind of a bit of a point here. Let's echo that on the other side. There we go. And now let's get into the mouth area. Like a lip. It needs to be thickened. Hold on. Let's get this protruding bottom lip a little more clearer. Some cracks. You know, as I design, generally as I design characters, I'm not much of an illustrator. But what I am is an animator, and I always think as an animator, and I always think, how would I animate this? And that, for good or for bad, affects my decision making. So I'm always thinking about keeping things kind of simple. So, you know, I don't get too hung up on extraneous detailing or anything in that, or anything along those lines. I always think about, what if I have to draw this over and over and over again? So that really defines a lot of my decision making. So let's get the ears. Tighten this up a little better. Let's tighten these graphics up a little better. This can be a little more clearer. Let's clean this up. Let's get this brow a little more clear. Kind of helps to think of the hair as one kind of shape. There, it kind of wraps around. Coming off of her temple. Let's get this shoulder in. And again, this arm is receding. Into the distance behind her. About ready to run out of time, I think. So and again, I'm de-emphasizing the breasts because I want the mouth to read a little bit more clearly. Save. at this hand. I feel like this hand is an important feature next to the face. It's what we're probably going to be seeing most of as we, it's like the first thing our eye is going to look at. So I feel like the majority of the time should be spent on these features. And yeah, and the pinky, and up. All right, I'm gonna roll for another 5 minutes on this. I really wanted to do some color, and I still might. Still might. So let's get. Let's get some of this stuff going on in here. Slippy Cinema 4D says G. G, back to you, man. There we go. And again, this is a little bit in the front. And bam. Zoom out, save, and see what we got going on here. So, not horrible. This, I know I was trying to recede this, but I don't think it's working. So let's see if I can just quickly correct some of this. So like this needs to be a little more thinner. This upper arm needs to be a little more thinned out. Okay. And I feel like maybe the arm, the collarbone around here someplace. The other collarbone will be around here. Okay. So I'm not a huge fan of some of this stuff. The hair is a little like this is kind of arbitrary. I don't know. I'll try and see what I can do with it. All right, so why don't we throw a little bit of color in here? Let's just spend like maybe 5 minutes top throwing down some color. So I do have some color options. There's some swatches over there. What I was thinking, let's just call this slate. And we're gonna, she's gonna be in the deep. What do I do here? Fixed size, normal. Let's just throw in something like this. Negative. That's not what I wanted. That is. And on top of this, we'll throw some color. And we'll just work just with some flat color. Save. Oops. That looks good. So why don't we grab in some, so here's some skin tone, some of this stuff. So I was thinking of something like this for her skin tone. Let's just get it in there, and we'll clean up the edges, but I want to just put it in so I can put colors next to each other and see how they work. So her skin tone is like this. But you know, this is the idea of where the skin tone is going to be. And I want to see how it works against, what did I use? I think I was going to use this for her tail. Or maybe it was going to be the green, the lighter green. No, I think I like this one better. It just has more, for me, it has more contrast so that we can kind of see that there's two clearly different things happening. So I think I can do that. Now for the hair, I didn't even think about the hair. How about this aqua? Now the aqua might be a little too, that's a bit too much. Let's try my new painter's wheel. Cool Aurus, whatever it's called. Maybe go a little grayer. I know my brother will say don't use just straight up gray, put some color in it, but I do want her to be older looking, and well, let's see how that works. I mean, maybe you can throw a little bit of blue in there. All right, and then for her chesticles, you know, we'll go something a little more coral, darker, you know, for like this. And this will also help make her face kind of stick out a little bit. So something along those lines. And then, of course, the eyes will be horrific holes. So why don't we go in here and start cleaning up some of this color. Oops. Let's just really clean up our edges a little better. Spend some time making it look somewhat presentable. And work our edges. Probably could just do a use a magic wand. Magic wand. I could summon my magic wand. And that will make my dreams come true. No, apparently the mailman's here. I don't know if you guys just heard that. Either that or it's the fraud police. They've come to take my Cintiq away. At long last, the fraud police has shown up and is putting an end to my career. Sir, you've been hacking for far too long. You need to put the stylus down and walk away from the Cintiq. Yeah, this works a little better because I can see some gray peeking through here that I originally put down. And this just works a little better for me. It's kind of an offish gray. A cool gray? I don't know. And we'll keep her simple. We're not going to go much more beyond this, I don't think. Okay. Yeah, there's still some gray peeking through. There we go. Good. And let's just fix up this stuff. I'm going to go for maybe another 5 more minutes. Because I demand it. I demand. There's a whole bunch of people out there who just love mermaids. I find that very interesting. Well, I'm being attacked. I always forget to Stop. I always mean to put up the my away when I'm streaming, and family and friends all, hey man, what's going on? I think my sister one time sent me, it wasn't just me, I was part of a group text, and she was sending pictures of her dinner. Dinner was showing up during my live stream. I mean, it looked delicious, but go slightly longer here. All I want to do is kind of get in some of this color. I want to definitely get in her eyes and her nose and her mouth, and then we're going to sign off. In fact, why don't we just do that right now? So we can go with this dark sample off of her bra, her sea bra. Annie Ohm, like, thank you. Annie Ohm in the chat says, like. I hope that means she likes my drawing. And not the food I was just talking about, my sister's dinner. We could go a little darker here on the lids. Again, because there's some thickness here. This is almost like a, in my mind, this is not a skull. It's kind of like very tight flesh over the skull. Which I guess is kind of weird, because then there's like these holes. But you know what? Ears are weird. Like, I was looking at my son's ear, and it's like, that's like his head. I'm looking into, like, if I, there's like a hole into his head. It's weird. Like, we have these holes in our bodies. I guess I thought too much about it not too long, the other day. That if one was so inclined, we could shrink down inside of a little microscopic spaceship and fly around inside of Martin Short, a la Inner Space. Now, the color of her tongue. Should we do something purple? Maybe something purple. Maybe even a little darker than this. I think this could be, I don't know. It's kind of neat. And let's give her teeth some of this. All right, and then let's grab a soft brush. Make another layer. Pull the opacity down a little bit here. Let's go inside of here. Just do this. Just like a soft. So like the lack of a pupil kind of becomes the pupil, you know? Let's fix this. Hello. Opacity. All right, there she's coming along. Archie blows. I mean, I don't want to bore you guys. I mean, again, the whole concept behind the live sketch is to just try and do it as quick as we can, go as much as we can in 25 minutes. At the end of these things, I'm always like sucking wind. I always feel like I'm moving 1,000,000 miles per hour, and I'm like trying to talk at the same time. And then when I sign off, I go like sit down on the couch for a hot second and catch my breath. And let's give the idea of this. All right, so already I see I made a mistake here. And I guess one of the things I go back and forth with in my head, it's like I'm trying to move fast. I'm trying to work fast. Again, it's part of the challenge. And there's so many things I'm like, I just want to fix this or fix that. Or, you know, in this case, I'm sitting here coloring it when I don't normally do that. But I wanted to, I don't know. I go back and forth with it. And then even after I'm done with it, sometimes I continue to work on it. And I'm like, well, is that fair? Sure, I guess it's fair. A little darker in this area. Let's do this to save myself some work. Just go like this. There we go. Go darker like that. And then finally, what I might do just to top this off, grab a soft brush. Very lightly do that. Multiply. I'm gonna do my trick. Add some tone. Watch this. Let's experiment. Let's grab one of my gouache brushes to add some tone. Esque. Hello. There it is. These are these gouache brushes that are really, really cool. And they have a bit of subtle texture to them. Let's zoom in. Oh, I didn't finish her hand down there. They have a bit of texture to them. I'm just gonna work her head and then I'm gonna sign off. So like that's really fun. Look at that. That's so cool. These are fun. These are from Kyle Webster. Go check his stuff out, man. It's so fun. And like these just add like a little bit of. I wish I was a better painter. I really do, because these are so fun. They encourage you to paint more. That's for sure. And not that they replace learning traditional methods of painting. That's for sure. But these are a heck of a lot of fun to play with. Cast shadow down here under the armpit. Yeah, these are fun. Look at that. That's so fun. I love the texture that these brushes lend. It's fun. It's got a ton of watercolor ones that are fun. It's just really fun stuff. And if you just use it sparingly like this, it really can really build up. It's fun. Let's carve this cheek out a little bit more. There we go. Cool. All right, I think that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you all very much for joining me. Sorry if I ran over. Sorry if it was a little longer than normal. In front of you, you see a subscribe button. You can click that to follow all my shenanigans. I have a link there for Toon Boom Harmony Tutorials. I believe that link will give you a link to the playlist of what started from timeline tips. How they build. I kind of suggest watching them from the beginning because the tutorials build. I do some animation live streams on my YouTube channel. I try to do it at least once a month, and we'll see how it goes. And of course, there's always previous Wednesday Lunch live sketches. As there is also in the description links to all of my social media sites, such as Twitter, Google+, which I'm finding to become more and more barren as the time goes on, my Tumblr, and my good old Blogger, because it's been around for like 10 years or something like that. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Wednesdays at 12 noon. Take care.